It's just not gonna say anything. It's just.
I don't got nothing
I
to
thought
say
you.
this week.
Now you got
I
nothing
have
to
a
say.
lot to
Now you
say,
gotta say.
and I have a lot to say, and I have nothing to say all at the same time.
It was a tough week.
First off, it was a tough week. Second, it feels good to be back recording. It's a Wednesday. It's not a normal Tuesday like we normally record. I had to push it back a day because I was traveling, helping out those who were impacted by Hurricane Milton.
He did support the economy. He did support the economy.
I did. They didn't really get hit, so good.
That's good. That's great news.
Happy they didn't get hit like that. Had a good time visiting my boy. Went to Ybor City, smoked some cigars, some Cubans, some everything. Great bourbon. This guy's bourbon collection is insane. Feels good to be back. A little tired from all the traveling today, the flight, the fucking kid kicking my seat 36,000 times. So I said, stop. I was going like this and the thing. That's how I was in the chair by the end, like this. Tell your demon son to stop kicking my chair, man. And then, yeah, that was my fault. What's that saying? How's that saying go? I know if anybody knows it's you when you're too nice to people, or yeah, basically.
Good guys always
example.
Lose or some shit like that.
No. That's like for a relationship. No, I'm talking about like. So I'm getting on the plane, right?
Yeah.
I'm boarding. There's a lady in front of me with a little kid, probably like 3 maybe, and then like a baby, almost like an infant. So she happens to sit in my aisle, and I'm like, okay. And then I put my luggage on. She's like, "This is my husband's seat." I said, "No, this is 30C. This is my seat." She's like, "Oh, my husband's gonna talk to you." So I seen him, and I had noticed him from the line coming in. He was in front of me, but he had to put like the carriage aside, so he got left behind. So then he's like, "Hey, would you mind switching?" Couldn't. All the seats were separate when I booked. I said, "Well, you snooze, you lose. How much?" So I was like, I didn't do that shit. I should have did that shit. So I was like, you know what? I know that if that was me and I was with my daughter, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I would have did it. So
absolutely right.
So I was like, all right, where's your seat at? He's like, it's right here. So he put me in. I was like, all right, we can switch. And I didn't even think about it. So on this particular airline, I had to pay for my seat, whatever seat I chose. So I probably got like a fucking less expensive seat, whatever. I sit down. The little girl next to me is she's probably, if I had to guess, she's probably like 5 or 6. But she's like nosy, like in my phone, in my tablet, and I'm trying to watch like provocative things before I fall asleep on this plane. And I'm like, I can't even watch anything. This girl's gonna be fucking shocked or in for the surprise of her life, and then I'm gonna get in trouble. And then between that and the kid behind me that was kicking his chair because his mom can't fucking discipline him. That was my flight. So I'm happy to be home. It is what it is. I had a good time relaxing, and I'm ready to record. And I don't really want to talk about football, but I'm sure we will.
Yeah, you bet we will. In fact, I didn't want to talk about football, and you're like, Matt, I really don't want to talk about football. I was like, fuck it, we're talking about football. That's just what we do here. Also, I also have a flight story, but I'll share that after we drop the info. This is Infamously Speaking. You're tuned in. Let's get it. It's funny you brought up flights and terrible flight experiences because typically I've flown a bunch, especially the past year or so for work, or like a year and a half, ever since I moved out here from the East Coast. I've flown a bunch. When we were coming back from Connecticut last year for my vacation, we I had my work laptop with me and I was working. I was doing some work because I had to catch up on some shit. And so, you know how kids are. I got, E-Man, he was at the time, he just turned 3 at the time, and he was acting up. And so I'm like, he wanted to use my phone to watch something. And I was like, all right. But then he started acting up. So I took it. So he started crying, just what kids would do, right? When they're not happy about something. And so he's crying, he's doing his thing, he's doing his thing. And it's clearly bothering the people around me. And I'm like, doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me if he's crying, not one bit. Not one bit. You know why? You know
Mm.
why it doesn't bother
Why?
me?
Why?
Because he's crying, I'm not gonna give him what he wants, right? We all know that. That's not how you get what you want in this world. Crying doesn't do it for you. And so, there was this lady, bro, sitting across from us, and the flight attendants kept on coming back to us because he was crying for like 2-3 minutes. He was crying, but he's loud as fuck. He's loud as shit. And I'm like, no, he's okay. I'm like, I just took the phone away. He's fine. He'll get over it. And then so I'm just doing work and he keeps crying. And then the lady across the aisle from us is like, well, if somebody would put his work away and take care of his child. And I was like, and I looked right at her and I was like, that's interesting. I was like, no, I'm like, is this your child? No, right? I was like, I suggest you shut your mouth. I said it just like that. And the flight attendant was like, oh boy. And then her husband, but she was on the aisle. Her husband, there's a space in between him. He's on the window seat and he's like dialed in. He's dialed in because obviously I'm talking to his wife. After I said, how about you shut your mouth? He just looked right away out the window. He wanted
And
no
no smoke.
problems.
No
And
smoke.
Here's the thing. We was on a flight from New York to Seattle, right? So everybody on that plane, for the most part, from Seattle. So they got a West Coast kind of vibe, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
thinks they could yap and they won't get checked.
Yeah. Yeah,
And that
yeah, yeah.
fucking energy, we got the East
Yeah.
Coast energy. I will
You
fuck
brought
you
that.
up.
Yeah, you brought that. You brought that New York vibe to the plane. You know
I'm like, yo,
I I'm gonna be honest. I think
mind
the
your
most
business.
surprising thing about that is the fact that you said that, and not because you're not like that, but more because you're usually more
I'm not like that.
empathetic, or you're like you know you think before you just respond. I think as was
Well,
probably
I
the
thought
best way
about
to
it.
put it.
I thought about
Yeah,
it.
clearly, clearly.
I did really
I don't
well.
think you're not the type
Not
of person
cursing.
that's huh? Oh,
I did really well because, well, it was just the way, it was the tone in which she said it. And the reason I said it is because I saw my wife like slouch up to snap back and say something. And I was like, if she says something to this lady and then this lady says something nasty back to her, there's gonna be a problem.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
let me just intervene right here because people could say whatever they want to me, but the moment you say something to my wife, there's a problem. There's an
yeah,
immediate problem. So that was also like I was like, I'm just gonna dead this shit right here. I'm gonna dead it. And so, but flying's always an interesting experience, and I get it. Like kids suck on planes, bro. They absolutely suck. But one thing I'm not gonna do is, and I don't give a shit how much of an asshole I look like. I'm not gonna um let my kids get away with bad behavior to satiate or make other people feel better. It's just not gonna happen. So
yeah.
they can
That's
act like a
fair.
they,
So,
they,
but
they can
in
act
this
like a
case,
dick. They can act like a dick in public. You ain't acting like a dick in public and getting what you want.
that's not
Like
about
that's
giving them
not
what they want. That's not disciplining them. That's just giving in to them. There's a big difference.
that's
You're
what I'm
gonna give them
saying.
what they want so they can shut up, but really they're not
Right.
getting the best. They're just still acting up. So that's what
They're
that's
gonna
what.
act up.
And and good thing you do that now or back then, because I'm sure E-Man is not going to continue that behavior, knowing that it's not going to get him
He
anywhere.
still does.
Where in this case, the fucking kid behind me, yo, he was yelling at his mom like, "Yo, why you ain't download my, why you ain't download my
Fact.
shit?" Like, yo, what? She was like, I did, Daniel. I did before we got on the
Oh no.
plane. He's like, my shit ain't here. Like, yo, he's like 5, bro.
Yo,
Southern.
Dan yo, Daniel bossing up.
Yo, Daniel was bossing up. Yeah, I should smack the shit out you, mom. She's like, oh, please, Daniel, no. I'll download it now. Yo, it was crazy, bro.
Yo,
And I
there's
look
no
back,
way.
so I look back mad times because I'm like, one, I look back to look at her like, yo, you're gonna tell him to stop kicking my chair, or am I really gonna have to do that? Because I really don't want to do that. I'm tired. That shouldn't be my. That's not my role. I didn't sign up for it. You're not giving me the buns. I'm not a stepdad, right? So I was like, yo, handle that.
But like if she offered, would you?
What I what? No,
Would you
no,
have?
no, I
Nah,
wouldn't.
it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that.
No, I wasn't like that. I was on 100. I was aggravated. I just wanted to fucking I downloaded my own shit, Daniel. I didn't have fucking mommy do it for me, so I was good money. I had my guy Nate Jackson on there ready to go. So yeah, that's how my flight was. I will say this too. I'm happy to be back, right? Fresh off of vacay in sunny Florida, smoking cigars and drinking good old bourbon. I came back to a package. I can't put it up right now. But I'll post a picture when you create the clip. Shout out to AG at Top Villain. I think it's www.topvillain.com. Yeah, you got dope merchandise, and you know we always show love, we always show support.
Always.
So I bought a blanket. Right, it's perfect. It's perfect for me coming back. And this is why I say it's obviously colder in the Northeast than it is in Florida. So coming back, you got the chills. Fall leaves is coming down. You don't have hot cocoa. You got a top villain blanket. It's one of the ones that sits on your head and you can wrap yourself in, almost like a
Oh,
little
that's fire.
snuggie. So yeah, I'll have that on a few episodes. I'm sure. Perfect on a football Sunday, just chilling, comfort, and it's fire. It's a fire ass blanket, right? Got the world, and you know what I love about it, and I thought about it before I got on the show with this part, which is the name's Top Villain, right? And I, I would like to have AG on the show just to explain how he got that because I'm not even sure. But
Yeah.
it just coincides with infamously speaking so much the name, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Um, because you're infamous, you're a villain, it goes together. And I tell you what, when I put this fucking blanket on, I felt like Batman's worst villain ever. Like I want all the smoke, you heard? Michael Keaton, what's that guy's name that made himself super skinny, almost died? Christian Bale. I want all that smoke, man. Top villain, infamously speaking, we're here.
Yeah, definitely shout out to AG, but the way you described that of like Batman's super worst villain, you sound like Daniel on the plane. 5-year-old Daniel, like super bad guy type shit. You know what I mean? Yo,
Yeah,
shout out to my guy Daniel. Clearly,
yeah,
clearly just did not give a shit about his own life. He was
yeah.
like,
Daniel don't give a
I'm
fuck.
that shit is crazy, bro. I could never, ever, ever like I'm a grown man now. And I'm still scared of my mom. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm like, my mom, I don't give a shit. How old mom
yeah,
could be
yeah. Your
80.
mom don't
And
play.
my mom was still fucking put belt to ass, bro. I don't give a shit.
I didn't see Daniel's dad. I didn't.
Well,
I
that's
didn't.
why
It was the mom and I
Quan,
think it was the grandmother. And I was like,
Quan,
damn, Daniel,
Quan was
where's
about to throw
daddy?
he was about to throw on this shirt that's like, I'm not the stepdad, I'm the dad who stepped up.
Oh,
Quan
nah,
was about
hell no, I ain't doing that shit. Hell no. Daniel would have got his
Quan,
ass beat.
he needed that shit, bro.
Download this, motherfucker. um, yeah, all right. Right into football news. Ray Rice recently. can can we
let's talk about some of the week 7 games. We had some really, really interesting games, surprising performances, and of course, devastating injuries. Let's talk about your Super Bowl pick from the AFC, the Houston Texans going into Lambeau and dropping a game late to the Green Bay Packers, losing 24-22. Um, I'll let you get first stab at it, man.
We picked that. We knew it was gonna
We
happen. We
said Green
picked
Bay.
Green
We did
Bay.
pick Green Bay.
It's
Yeah, we
it,
did.
and a loss at this caliber is not devastating. Had they gotten blown out, maybe. I just it's like this. Sometimes the Patriots, when we were on that run, we would usually lose towards the end of the season to a team that we definitely should have beat. Like
Yeah.
clearly, we were a
Yeah.
better team. But I loved it, in all honesty, because it gave us the awakening. Like it's any given Sunday, guys.
We
Like
got to show up.
it doesn't. Yeah, the names don't matter. The past don't matter. You got to play today, like it's the last game. So, I could appreciate those losses. I don't think this hinders them from being in those conversations. Though I know that there's other teams that are looking great. So, and I'm sure we'll get to them where we're talking a little bit more about them. But I don't think I wouldn't be like, oh, Ravens are going to steamroll over the Texans. I'd never say that.
That's an interesting take. So I want to come back to that, but give my thoughts about the game were twofold. Number one, Green Bay has a really underrated defense, and maybe they're not underrated, but just the way that they could generate pressure from all three levels with creative blitzes, I thought was really interesting. Anytime you can hold CJ Stroud to 10 for 21 and 86 yards passing for an entire game is ridiculous. Obviously, Joe Mixon ran all over him, but they had some short fields because Jordan Love was a little bit inaccurate and gave the ball away. But Green Bay is an extremely impressive team. And I like what you said about Baltimore, but I think if I had let's say, I agree with you. This is not an alarming loss for the Texans by any stretch of the imagination, right? You go into Green Bay, you lose on a last second field goal. It is what it is at that point. And Green Bay is no slouch. But I would say that if you look at the AFC in terms of if we had to have like a hierarchy, Kansas City is on a level of their own. Then I would say Baltimore is on a level of their own. And then I would say Houston is in at the top of that next category. Because I do think Baltimore would handle Houston. I do 100% feel that way. Just because Baltimore is an interesting team. We'll talk about them a little bit later. They're definitely flawed, 100% flawed. But Houston has played a lot of these head scratching games, and it's crazy because I said last week they finally played a game where I was like, "Yeah, complete game. Loved seeing that from Houston." And they come back and do this, and I'm like, "What the hell, man?" But at least this time it was against Green Bay, so their two losses aren't bad. Well, they got blown up by Minnesota, but Minnesota's a quality team, and then they lose to Green Bay. I mean, they had the whole AFC South is unfortunate enough to have to play the NFC North, which is probably the best division in football this year. So, yeah, really,
No
my thoughts
problem.
about that's fact. Yeah, what we've seen so far, they are. Yeah. So let's move into the battle of the NFC North team. This is a big one. Detroit at Minnesota, battle for first place in the NFC North. Minnesota, their division, they're the division lead on the line, and of course, I said, yeah, I'm rolling with Detroit, man. I believe in Jared Goff. I was Dan Campbell, and I said, with tears in my eyes, saying, I believe in Jared Goff.
Who did I pick? Minnesota?
Of course, you did.
Yeah, because I can tell by the way you was so fucking high on yourself. I guess
Listen,
all that humble shit went out week 3. Yeah. Go ahead. You got the floor. You got the game right.
yeah,
I spoke
right.
on Green Bay. Go ahead. You got the
Let me get
floor.
this. So, I mean, of course, I'm talking about Detroit, man. And here's why we're talking about Detroit. I love the way that they punched back in the second quarter. They got down 10-0 on the road against an undefeated Vikings team and then dropped 21 unanswered points on them. Now, I love the way the Vikings fought back after taking that punch. It was like, punch for punch. But Jared Goff played an incredible game. Jameer Gibbs, explosive. David Montgomery getting hurt early absolutely killed us. just weapons all over the place. Now, what I will say, which I didn't like, was the whole Williams thing about potentially missing games for PEDs, so or PES, I guess, performing enhanced substance. So um, they don't want to be down playmakers on offense, especially because the Hutchinson loss. You're gonna have to score more points because he was half of your pressures. But they got a dynamic playmaker on defense, and his name is Brian Branch. He is all over the
Nasty.
place.
Yeah, he's nasty,
So
bro. He
huge
really
win for
is.
the
He's nasty.
Lions. Huge win for the Lions, and I think it's only continues to go up from here.
Yeah, I think it's a tough loss for Minnesota, right? Coming off of a bye week, you had time to prepare for this, and you dropped the ball at home.
London layover.
Obviously, um, obviously it's gonna be a tough game with it being a divisional game, and two, you're going against the team that I picked to go to the Super Bowl. So good
Win
luck
it.
with that. Yeah. So good luck with that. I don't think it's something they should hang their heads on, and I highly doubt Coach O'Connell's gonna let that even happen. Matter of fact, they got a game Thursday, right? There's a Thursday game against the Rams. So and that's not gonna be an easy task either. So they gotta just turn it around. I think this game coming up is gonna be more of a testament to who they are as a team than taking that first loss against the original rival.
Yeah, I like that take, and like you said, no shame in losing to Detroit, especially in the fashion that you did. You only lost by
Yeah.
2. It's
Yeah,
not like they came
exactly.
in and killed you guys. So this was another game that I called correctly,
To
and I don't know
oh
why, for
my.
whatever reason, why you would pick San Francisco here. I have no clue why.
I'll tell you why.
But of course,
It's
Kansas
my
City
turn
going
first.
into San. No, I'm just queuing up the game, and you go first.
Yeah, go ahead,
Kansas
go
City
ahead.
going into San Francisco and doing what they do, what everybody, well, at least what I knew what they were gonna do, and beating the Niners handily. So go ahead.
All right, you want to know why I picked this game? Because I didn't fucking
Good.
think Debo Samuels will be out with a chest cough, and I didn't think fucking Ayuk would
Doesn't
break his
matter.
knee. It definitely
Also didn't
matters.
matter.
Will you cut it out?
Doesn't
Are
matter.
you serious?
It doesn't matter.
Are you kidding me right now?
Doesn't matter.
How's that not matter?
It doesn't
They're more
matter.
than 50% of their offense.
Let me tell you why it doesn't matter. Let me tell you why it doesn't matter. The key cog and all that is Christian McCaffrey, bro.
No,
Their
it's not.
record with him in the lineup as
No, it's
opposed to
not.
them without it is everything.
No, it's not.
Okay. He's the
Christian
best player on the
McCaffrey.
team by none. By none. There's
Jordan Mason
nobody
was
even
doing the same thing.
No, he's not. There's a difference, bro. There's levels to it. Come on now. Let's not even go there.
I don't even want to talk about this game, bro.
Bro, we know.
They suck.
Listen.
The Chiefs suck.
Yeah. No, the Chiefs don't
They
suck.
just got
The
D
Niners,
Hop. Who cares?
I don't really care about that, to be honest with you. This isn't 5 years ago. I mean, will he have a good year? Sure. But it's the defense, guy. It's the defense. That is always the story of the Chiefs game, bro, is the defense.
Yeah, so watch when they play
Period.
fucking the Lions. The Lions gonna cook their ass up.
I don't think so either. You know why? Because they still got the best quarterback in the world on it. This is like betting against the Patriots, bro.
He's not the best quarterback in the world.
Who's better? Who's better?
Tom Brady. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady doesn't play anymore.
He's still the best quarterback in the world. Period.
No, he's not, my guy. Not
Actually,
currently.
Patrick Mahomes been average at best. That's why he's not even. Who had to play the
game? Who had to
who's
play
leading?
the game? Who had to play
Who's
the game?
leading? What play? Don't tell me when he ran it in the end zone.
Nope. The play
or when he ran
that.
it to the sideline.
That
and he out like he was gonna go out.
fake on Fred
that
Warner,
is so
bro.
Fucking corny, bro.
Are you kidding me? Fred
I'm
Warner.
Tell you why it's corny. He does that all the time, and he gets
people
away
fall
with
for
it.
And
No,
people
they don't fall for it. They don't want to fucking
Fred Warner
get a
didn't fall for
penalty.
it? He doesn't
They're
get
not
away with it.
listening to me.
This guy,
They do it all the time. Yo, if you hit Patrick Mahomes right there, and he's about to go out of bounds, or he does the same exact move, it's over for you.
He couldn't hit him because he wasn't even close to the sideline when that happened. He was a couple steps away from the sideline.
Patrick Mahomes did that same exact fucking move against Tennessee in the playoffs. and they got away with it because nobody wants to hit them and get a penalty. You're already thinking about that because of all the fucking referees that's on their team. And then you also have how they protect the quarterbacks.
This
So
guy, bro.
it's like you can't. You're in a lose-lose situation.
Is it a lose-lose situation, or is it letting him scamper down the sideline to get to the 2? What's
You're in a
worse?
lose-lose
What's
because if you
worse? Take the
fucking
penalty
push
at
them
that
out of
point.
bounds, no. Well, penalties what? Another 15?
No, half the distance to the goal because of where he was. So he wouldn't have been on the 2. He wouldn't have been on the 2?
Nah, you
Okay.
can't do that. You can't do
Okay.
that. You
Listen,
can't.
man.
I was telling my boy when we
And he
watching, I was
fell
like,
and he fell for the ball
I
fake.
missed the
And he
old
fell for
days.
the
I
ball
missed
fake.
the old days. He
And
didn't fall for the ball fake.
yeah, he did. He was like
He was
slowing
still
down. I'm
right
like,
there. You really
my
thought that was playing a
goodness.
game? You really thought that was playing a game?
As opposed to what? As opposed to
I
what?
don't know. I didn't really watch the game, but I know that
All
wasn't
right.
playing the game.
All right. It was the play of the game, my guy. It was the play of the game. And also the fact that you picked Brock Purdy over Patrick Mahomes is also insane by you.
Niners at home with something to play for. I'm taking them all day. Healthy Niners. Put it that way. Just like we took a few
Why?
picks. We said if they play,
Well, why? Why when the Chiefs beat a healthy Niners team? Why? Why?
because I believe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you believe in Santa too, right? I mean, at that
No,
point,
you really
at
want to
that
have a
point, it's the
Santa
same thing.
conversation right now? Can we get
At
past
that point,
Christmas? I mean Halloween.
at that point, it's the same shit, man. This is the same story. Same story. Kansas City's the best team in football, man. Everybody's talking about Patrick Mahomes' stats like he won't turn up if he had to. Like, come on, guys. We've seen it before.
What's their schedule? Can you pull their schedule up?
I'll pull up the schedule just for you. Also, I've been saying this about San Fran all year, man. Overvalued.
Yeah, you did. I'll give you that. They're
And you know
not
what's
overvalued.
crazy?
They just Debo is a pussy, bro.
Okay.
This guy, yeah.
Yeah, that might have been worse than my Micah Parsons coward comment.
Yo, he's always out for something, bro.
He doesn't want to
Come
play the
on,
Chiefs.
yo.
And listen, this is what I'm telling you about the podcast. Stop doing them. He was on it with Kittle, right? He's like, oh, I never get a win against him. Man, you ain't play. Just don't talk. Don't talk. Don't say anything about it. So here's the Chiefs' remaining schedule. Next week they play the Raiders. Raiders were the last team that beat them, by the way, on Christmas last year. But no Aiden O'Connell. I didn't put him on the list. He fractured his thumb. So Gardner Minshew's gonna need to start, I believe. After the Raiders, and that's at Las Vegas. They're home for the Bucks, but the Bucks are crippled now. Godwin and Evans both out. Godwin, I think, done for the year, right? And then Evans until at least their bye, I think, was like week 11.
Yeah.
Then they get the Broncos, which could be a tough game, divisional game. Broncos usually play them somewhat tough. Then at the Bills, Bills might be okay. Their offense is still hit or miss. Then at the Panthers, that's light. Raiders at home. They have the Chargers at home, at the Browns, who lost their quarterback, which actually might have been a blessing for them. Then they got a tough one. Texans come into
Steelers?
Arrowhead.
Oh, Texans.
Then at Steelers, and they finish up at Denver.
They could potentially lose 2 games. And that's
Yeah.
bearing.
Yeah, the likelihood of them going undefeated is you don't ever pick that because there's always going to be some kind of weird ass game in there. But like,
Nah, not with the refs.
I think you would say they'd be the favorite going into every game. Maybe not against Buffalo because for whatever reason people love Buffalo
Is it
over
in
Kansas
Buffalo?
City. It's in Buffalo. That shit doesn't matter. In the regular season, they've usually beat them. So that's probably why Buffalo would be favored.
They give home advantage. I know Vegas gives home advantage like a 1.5 point spread.
But we'll see. Both Buffalo and Kansas City made receiver additions, right? Amari Cooper caught a touchdown, and he's only going to be more integrated into the offense. And then let's see what D Hop becomes. I like the D Hop move because he's not this massive play receiver, right? He's more like contested catch kind of guy. You got Worthy on the other side, so it never hurts bringing in a great veteran receiver to teach the young guys. But yeah, man, Kansas City is the best team in the league. I don't know conversation about it. why we pick against them at any point. I don't know. They got to lose one game. I guess maybe that's why you pick against them because they have to lose one.
They don't play anybody.
They play the toughest schedule, my God.
They don't got the fucking toughest schedule. You
They've
kidding me?
played the toughest schedule. I mean, I don't have strength of schedule pulled up, but let's just look at their opponents, right?
The
Baltimore.
Ravens, game 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Game 1.
So what's Baltimore? All right. We know what Baltimore is now. The
They lost to
Bengals.
the Raiders. Baltimore lost to the Raiders the following week, by the way.
Okay.
go ahead.
And then have been on an absolute heater.
All right, well, go ahead.
Okay. Then they beat the Falcons. Falcons, first in their division.
Okay.
Chargers, who are second in the division behind Kansas City.
You're talking.
Guy, but
Go.
you can number
Go,
one,
go.
you can only, and of course they played the Saints, who've imploded, and then but people who are on, people love the Saints after their first 2 weeks, and then they beat San Francisco in San Francisco.
Yo, you're doing the ultimate. You're doing skip. You're doing skip.
No, I'm not.
You're giving me all the positives of the team that they beat.
No,
they beat the Saints. You know, everybody's high on the Saints. They came out hot.
I didn't say. I said people like them.
Oh, they beat the Chargers.
Listen.
They're number 2 in their division.
Oh, behind the Chiefs.
That's my point. You're bringing out positives that don't really fucking matter, bro.
Okay,
who cares? They're number 2.
So
San Diego just lost to the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are ass.
So beating Baltimore doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Beating Baltimore doesn't matter.
Matters.
Okay.
I think that's the only significant win, and that don't really matter to me.
Beating Cincinnati doesn't matter.
You're not letting. Can I answer your question?
I'm asking. Okay, again.
All right, I was answering it. Yeah. So I think beating the Ravens is the only one that's going to be significant, and that's because it's going to dictate playoff shit in the long term. And to me, it still don't matter because that's week 1.
Okay.
Baltimore still didn't find themselves until week 3 or 4, which we talked about.
Oh, so I'm saying beating the Bengals week 2, that doesn't matter. Beating the Falcons doesn't matter.
Beating the Bengals, why would beating the Bengals matter, sir?
They don't have the maybe top 3, top 4 quarterback in the league.
Joe Burrow?
Sure. Joe Burrow.
Were they on? Okay. Were they on? Were they clicking when they played? No, they weren't.
Okay, but were the Chiefs? That's the fucking point. They got the same benefit or the doubt as the Ravens and the Bengals and everybody else.
Say it again, because they don't. What did you say? What did you say?
Why wouldn't they get the same benefit? Oh, they weren't clicking, but they still fucking won.
No. Even in that game, their benefit was the stripes that threw the fucking dumbass flag.
Because it was a flag, bro. Pass interference is pass interference. I don't. As a Patriots fan,
we're done.
We're done. Incredible.
Let's go. Continue. Let's go on.
You asked for the schedule. That's the shit that people that frustrates me about shit. Is like, all right, so discredit all the fucking wins, and also
I'm not discrediting the wins.
Yeah,
I'm not discrediting the wins.
They didn't have the hardest schedule.
I'm telling you right now, it don't matter. They play Lions tomorrow. Do you think all those wins matter because they beat those teams when it comes to the Lions?
It matters because they're gonna beat the Lions. They beat the Lions. That's why it matters.
Doesn't sound probable, but it sounds good.
Okay. All right, but so one of the best defenses in the league, and the best quarterback in the league at the same time. Best coach in the league.
He's not the best quarterback.
Now you're taking somebody over Patrick Mahomes.
I'm taking Lamar Jackson over Patrick Mahomes.
Crack pipe, bro. In games that matter in the playoffs, when does Lamar play?
Did you not just see what Lamar did?
I don't give a shit what Lamar Jackson does in the regular season.
Why?
Oh,
see how you discredit? You see how you discredit shit?
Let me tell you why.
You can't use your own argument against me.
No, what I'm saying is this. Because you brought up if they played the Lions. Well, the only time they played the Lions would be in the Super Bowl, right? And you said the reason that it mattered beating Baltimore is because of seeding. Okay, so now seeding that means postseason. When does Lamar Jackson play his worst game of the year? Always, every year of his career in the postseason. Always. That's why the regular season for Lamar Jackson doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
No, I want to say always in the postseason. What I was saying is
always. Look it up. The
last few years,
always.
They changed the stupid game plan.
No, but his performance, his worst performance of the season, always comes in the playoffs. Look it up. The stats are out there. Look it. Always, always, always. And when does Patrick Mahomes play his best football? In the postseason, just like Tom Brady, right? But you can't appreciate that. I don't know. I don't know why this is so difficult for you to grasp as
It's
somebody who got to see that for 2 decades. I don't
not the
understand
same.
why it's the fucking same. In fact, Patrick Mahomes is off to a better start. So
As
why
far
is it
as
not the
what?
same?
As far as what?
As far as appearing in Super Bowls, as far as making it to consecutive AFC championship games, they have the same amount of Super Bowls. But as far as getting there, he's off to a better start, my guy. So also he has a chance to do something Brady's never done, and that's three-peat. So I don't understand why you can't appreciate greatness, guy.
Can.
I don't get it. It's like, is this like is Patrick Mahomes like LeBron for you?
I don't
Like
understand what
LeBron,
you mean.
like you can't appreciate LeBron's greatness because of the Jordan aura. Is that is
That's
that
not.
kind of what's happening
See,
here?
this is what we're doing. Not you're gonna get all the audience thrown off subject because we're gonna go on this little tangent about
But it
something
no,
that's not even true. Because you're throwing
but it's
false
true.
statements. First off, don't throw false statements out.
It's not a
It's
false
not that
statement, guy.
I don't. First off, I can appreciate
You hate
LeBron's
LeBron.
greatness.
You hate LeBron.
No, I don't. I just had this
You hate
fucking
him.
conversation with my boy yesterday while
You hate
watching
him.
LeBron enter the
You hate
game
him.
with his son with 4 minutes left in the
That was a
going
dope moment.
in the second quarter. Can I fucking talk? You want to talk and talk and talk? Go ahead, run the show, guy. Ask me a question and then you answer it.
Why do you
Go
hate LeBron
ahead.
so much?
Now you answer it.
Because you're old.
See?
And that's why you hate
All right.
Patrick Mahomes so much.
So I'm gonna go back into what I was gonna say because I'm not really upset. I just wanted to fuck with you for a minute. I don't hate LeBron. The only thing I don't like is that LeBron never reached his full potential, in my opinion. LeBron could have easily dethroned Michael Jordan had he had the heart to do it. I just feel he don't have the heart to do it, and you could chalk it up to whatever his mentality, his losses. It doesn't even matter. It's just what I see in LeBron is I had higher expectations because I seen what he was able to do, what he did against Detroit in the playoffs when he was on Cleveland. You know, just the ability to take over a game and him not consistently do it, and then the whole superstar thing. Like I just
Yeah.
that's my gripe with LeBron. Never his athleticism, his achievements, his his athletic abilities, like his game, his IQ. None of that ever bothered me. It bothered me that he could have been more and he chose not to. It's like when you have a friend on the podcast and you have these high expectations and he just continues to talk with no meaning. You're disappointed.
So
I feel like
so
a
then
disappointed. I feel like Daniel's dad. I'm disappointed in his actions.
well, Daniel's dad doesn't really get a say.
With Mahomes is different. With Mahomes is different because I think Mahomes does tap into that, and he's exceeding expectations because he's not the most athletic. He didn't come into the game as a Manning with all these high expectations. Obviously, they thought highly of him and what he was capable of doing, but it wasn't like, oh, a Manning is entering the league. Let's see what he does and how many Super Bowls he gets. So he's already exceeded expectations. So kudos to Patrick for that. But my eye test tells me he's not playing as the best quarterback in the league right now. That's just me.
Yes, at the moment. But you're telling me if you pick anybody, because at the end of the day, we're talking championships. We're talking rings. At the end of the day, if you're like, you could pick one quarterback, active, to go and lead your team. You're not picking Patrick Mahomes because
So
I don't think you can make a
this
case
year,
for anybody else.
listen, I'll tell you this. I probably would pick Patrick Mahomes if I'm being honest. But it's tough. It's not an easy decision. Like For example, I'll give you an example. When when
It's
when we
easy.
talked about the Chiefs versus the Niners last year in the Super Bowl, I wanted to pick the Niners bad because of that defense. Um, I just felt like they had the better defense, right? Um, but I said I can't pick against Patrick Mahomes. I can't do it. He's already made it impossible. That was last year in the Super Bowl. So now when you ask me the question again, it's not as easy, but I probably would still pick Patrick Mahomes, like I said, but it's not as clear cut for me.
I still think it's clear cut,
Yes, we already know that, bro. You established
but
that week one when he was glazing them.
I I wasn't glazing anybody. All I'm saying is like this. Listen,
He
everything that
was a
I
Dunkin' Donuts super glazed all over
you
your
know what's crazy
chin
is that
with one
everything
bite.
this guy's wild, bro. I'm not gonna even respond to that. Everything I've said about Kansas City has rang true so far, right? So
You're very smart, except for picking legs,
shit
parlay
is
legs.
fucking.
But go ahead, yeah, I'm
I was about to
listening.
say. I mean, I know how to pick leg. Not anymore. I'm done. I'm done. Let's move on to the next game, man. Uh, your new goat, Lamar Jackson, going into Tampa and absolutely destroying the
my,
Bucks.
my new
um,
go.
41-31. The game was nowhere near as close as this. Obviously, the big news coming out of this game is both the star receivers for Tampa getting hurt. Mike Evans leaving early with a hamstring, and then Chris Godwin just terrible injury in garbage time. I think he's gonna miss the rest of the year. So um, I'll let you take first stab on this one because you love Baltimore and Lamar Jackson. So I'll get go right ahead.
Yeah, no, I will. I couldn't wait to talk about this. Actually, I watched this game probably about 2.5 times, just because I kept rewinding it, and then I ended up coming on like later on that night. I was going to bed at like 3, 4 in the morning every night, fucking smoking cigars. But anyways, as soon as your can's done interrupting me, your fucking World War II canister. All right.
That's what I used to collect money. That's my
Yeah.
cardboard signs right over here.
Yeah. So, um, I couldn't wait to talk about this. And this is what I really want to say from the bottom of my heart. Todd Bowles is a fucking piece of shit. Fuck. Yo, he really is. He he's a piece of shit. He shouldn't be fucking coaching. I want him out. I want him fucking gone. I want Todd Bowles out of there. He I don't know if people really realize that he cost them a championship. Like the people in Tampa, I should have went around asking that. I really should have. I should have asked. Do you guys realize Todd Bowles cost you a championship? Because I think the average person won't know, and maybe even some of the above average won't know what I'm talking about. And you know what I'm talking about, right? We called the all out blitz, like 8 seconds left, made no sense, right?
Yep.
The team that they lost to, the Rams, go on to win the championship, which I think Tom Brady and team would have easily done that had they got past the Rams that game.
Yeah, they would have been in Cincinnati. Their defense was
So that's why
crazy.
that's why I bring that up. Then we brought it up recently. I don't remember what game it was. Was it the Falcons? Did the Falcons come back and beat them?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Falcons, and I was like, "There you go, Todd Bowles again. Supposed to be this defensive genius, can't get a stop when he needs to get a stop." Then this first off, the game plan didn't make any fucking sense, right? All right, you got Mike Evans out there. I'm sure Mike Evans, he's a tough guy and he wanted to be out there. He obviously made a difference when he was. He caught that touchdown in the end zone. He almost caught two actually, but um he was already hurt, bro. You know he was hurt. He's questionable all week. You
Yep.
jeopardized him. You put him out there and let him get injured more than what he was. And then what's he do? End of the game. There's no chance, bro. There's a lot of
Godwin.
reporters saying there was a 0.1% chance of winning. There wasn't. Because did you know this? And I didn't know this, but I looked into it. You can't. Because they was like, if they score, they can do an onside kick, right? They couldn't. They already maximized all the onside kicks they can do. They limited it now. So really, there was no chance of them coming back and winning that game.
Oh
So
shit.
you have a 0% chance of winning the game, and you put your guy out there to get injured. And I get it. You play till the whistle's done, and some people don't like coming out, but you got to protect your assets. You have a good team. Bucks has some pretty good games. I text you during the game. I said Mayfield looks great. When he stepped up in the pocket, they got that bullshit holding call, and he threw the touchdown to
Yeah.
Godwin, which I thought was fair. But and then obviously the Bucks do what I mean. Excuse me, the Ravens do what they do, and they open the game up. But that don't even then, right? Even if you got smoked by the Ravens as a Bucks um fan, not me, but as a Bucks fan, I don't think you should be down by losing to the Ravens in that matter. We know
So Lamar does.
what we know what Lamar does exactly. So don't now you hanging your head because your best receiver is who? McMillan, the rookie, Trey
Yep.
Palmer,
Sterling Shepard.
Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, like, yeah, man. I mean,
You know what I'm? So that's my take from that. I
yeah,
apologize.
I'm with you on that. I mean, Tampa came out really strong, jumped out to a 10-0 lead, and the bad decision by Baker in the end zone with the
Oh,
interception.
the
'Cause
interception. Yeah,
that gave Baltimore tons of life. But
yeah.
but we talked about it like why we both like Baltimore anyways, right? This is what Lamar does against NFC opponents. Um, Same amount of touchdowns as incompletions. And then of course Derrick Henry,
He
always good to pop a long run. 15 for 169, 81 of that on that long run in the fourth quarter, which he should have scored on.
he did score
I'm
on a
just saying.
pass.
He
I
did
will
score on a
say, yo,
pass though.
Lamar threw some pretty passes, man.
The one to Bateman was
Oh
crazy.
man,
The one to Bateman was crazy. And that was another frustrating thing. I think that was the most frustrating part about this entire game was the injuries. Zay Flowers getting hurt
yeah.
early. And then
I told you,
what happened to
Andrews.
Evans
I
is,
called Andrews.
and I mean 4 for 41. Let's not get too
Two
crazy, but
touchdowns.
yeah, 2 touchdowns. I mean, when Lamar throws 5, somebody got to catch him. And no Flowers, somebody has to catch him. But yeah, I mean, listen, this is what Baltimore does. Of course, we talked about some of the critical injuries. Obviously, Deshaun Watson, the ACL injury, Ayuk, which is
Jaden
a big
Daniels.
loss.
Jaden
Jaden Daniel,
Daniels.
that's probably the biggest one. And the reason I say that is because I think right now they're saying he's game to game, right? But rib injuries,
Who do they play next?
Chicago's the next game.
That's a was that a Sunday night game?
No, late window.
Just regular?
Yeah.
That's I don't think he's gonna play, to be honest. I think that would have been perfect to see like a showcasing of the two rookies, but I don't think we're gonna see it.
Yeah, I mean, the rib injuries are so tough because it goes into everything, right? He's a running quarterback, so he's gonna take hits, and you don't want him injuring it even worse. When you throw, that impacts how much torque and leverage you can get behind the ball. And obviously, he's been money on deep passes to McLaurin, and that's what's really opened up the offense. So, um, yeah, you gotta get him right, man. You gotta get him right. The last time there's been this much optimism around Washington like this, like I can remember, is RG3's rookie season. We all know how that ended because of how they just ran him into the
They
ground.
handled that. They handled that pretty terribly. That's why.
Yeah, and so
Um,
I mean, I love what RG3 tweeted out though. Like, please let him be okay, because like obviously if anybody knows firsthand what that is, he does. And to see such an exciting player, like you don't want anything to happen. So obviously you found your guy, take care of him. Don't make the
yeah.
same mistake twice.
No, I agree. I agree. And as a fan, right? I'm a big fan of Jaden Daniels. I want to see him on the field. As someone who has him in fantasy, again, I
Of
want to see
course, you
him
want
on
to
the
see him on the field.
field. But I want to see the longevity of Jaden Daniels. So I want them to take their time. I would say sit him out the next 2 weeks and see how that goes. But I don't think it's going to be 2 weeks. I think they're going to sit him out this week and he'll probably play the following.
I think what happens, what like the outcome of the game is what happens. It will determine it. Like if they win this game, because they got a 1 game lead on the division, because Philly absolutely destroyed the Giants this past week. Um, but if they beat Chicago with Mariota, and I think that makes you feel good if you're Washington, right? That Mariota showed a lot of confidence in the game. Because if you go in and you win this game, now Chicago's no slouch, obviously, but you go in and you win this game, your next game is against the Giants. Would you feel comfortable sitting them? I would.
I don't know.
If he's not fully there, I'd feel comfortable sitting them against the
Oh
Giants.
no, I don't know because that's a division game. The Giants, right? If you had to say what's the Giants' strongest point,
Their pass rush. That's exactly why I wouldn't
Mariota's
play
not
him.
Mariota's not getting away with. I'm saying if they want to win, you're talking about to protect
Yeah,
him.
but
I understand
but
that to protect
listen,
him. Yeah, absolutely.
listen. If Daniel Jones is playing, then they're good. That's what I'm saying. You want
That's
to talk about
valid.
12? You want to talk about 12 man right there? That's your 12th man, Daniel Jones. Seattle got nothing. The Seattle fans got nothing on Daniel Jones. He's the ultimate 12th man for the other team.
That's
So
valid.
I and the thing is, the reason that's why I wouldn't play him unless like he's cleared, everything's completely filled up, he's feeling really good, because Dexter Lawrence leads the league in sacks, 8 sacks.
When's their bye week?
Washington's bye
I think
week.
it's
Got the
14.
schedule
I think
pulled
it's week
up.
14.
Yeah, it's a late one.
It's late. It's late. It's the same as the
Let me just
Cardinals.
Google this shit up right here. Yeah, 14. Yep, 14.
Wow. Look at that. I'm
This
like
guy, this
Google.
guy, this guy is locked in during his fantasy drafts. Locked in.
Yeah, I gotta pay
The fact
attention
that
to this.
Arizona's bye week is insane, bro. The Cardinals don't even know their own bye week.
That's funny, bro. Um, yeah. So
But you got to take care of them, bro.
Chicago
You
did the
have to.
Giants. Yeah.
You have to. Chicago's defense is real, and that's the best part of their team. And the crazy shit is Thibodeau's not even playing, bro. And Lawrence got 8 sacks. Brian Burns has
Yeah.
emerged. Like
Yep.
I wouldn't, unless it's dire straits. Like you lose against Chicago and Philly wins this week. And Philly, they got a tough game against Cincy, so they might lose that game. I think the game they play
Philly
against the
loses.
Giants.
Are we picking teams? Oh, we didn't pick.
Yeah, let's do that right now. That's actually
All
what I
right.
got pulled up.
My bad. Kind of
No,
jump.
you good. It was perfect segue. No, perfect segue. So Thursday night, you said it earlier, Minnesota at Los Angeles. Um,
Minnesota
I
at
think
Los Angeles.
they're still not back, bro.
That's not an easy game to call, but I'm gonna take Minnesota,
Yeah, I'm gonna
especially
take
because
Minnesota too.
Cooper Cup's coming back.
Yes, Cooper is coming. I'm still gonna take Minnesota.
Hiram
I think they
Williams. You know what's funny? I thought he was gonna come on this show talking crazy shit because the Rams
bro.
has a legitimate shot
Bro.
still winning that division, bro.
Bro, what did I tell you? Yep,
No,
listen,
we're not doing that.
that's what I was saying.
I'm not
though.
giving you the platform for you to start doing that.
Because that's what I was gonna mention when San Fran lost. They're a game behind, right? Like I'm not fucking going crazy right now,
No,
right?
you're
Like,
not. But
yeah, they're a game behind.
Listen to me. Had you have said this prior to me saying you should have been saying this, it's not valid at this point anymore.
No. What I'm saying is they're a game behind the Niners, and they've already beaten the Niners. Now the Cardinals winning against the Chargers doesn't help because they got smacked by the Cardinals. They haven't played Seattle yet, but Seattle's sus. The Rams are fucking alive. But I think Minnesota bounces back. If Minnesota would have won last week, I would have liked the Rams only because of that high coming off that win to have to come play on Thursday. But I think, like you said, McConnell and especially Brian Flores is going to have everybody locked the fuck in after a loss like that. Philly at Cincy. I like Cincinnati. I think Philly is.
Philly's fraudulent.
They beat the Giants, man.
Yo, I do want to say what Saquon did as far as when they asked him if he wanted to break the record.
That was soft as fuck. I would have been like, hell yeah, fuck these motherfuckers, man.
Nah, that was.
I wish he would have did it. I wish he would have did it,
I
bro.
wish he would have did it because it was going against the Giants, especially. But I also respect the fact that he wanted to let his young boys be out there and get some money.
No, 100%. No, 100%. Also smart, right? He knows MetLife Stadium. He's like, nah, I ain't. I'm only gonna go on that field as much as I absolutely have to, because that shit just snatches ACLs, bro. Um,
Yeah.
Baltimore at Cleveland. This is an easy one. Baltimore. Baltimore's favored by 8.5, and that might not be enough. Jameis Winston getting the start. Baltimore.
Jameis Winston's getting a start.
Yeah,
Why didn't they bring him
Baltimore.
in then?
He was the emergency quarterback, I think. That's why. Some shit like that. He was third string behind DTR. It
All
doesn't make
right.
sense to me, but
Yeah.
uh Tennessee at Detroit. This is a light one. Detroit, bro. Detroit favored by 11 points.
That's crazy.
I mean, I think Mason Rudolph starting doesn't make it any better. Detroit, 100%. Arizona at Miami. Tua's back.
I hate Arizona, bro.
Dude, they're just so, and it's in Miami. I'm actually,
I'm taking Arizona.
yeah, because Tua's first game back. Yeah. Jets at Patriots. Jets favored by 7 is actually crazy. They fired their coach and got worse.
They're worse than when they had Zach Wilson. It's crazy.
Yeah,
They're worse than.
that stat is insane. They were 4-3
Uh,
through 7 games last year. They're 2-5 through 7 games this year.
actually, shout out to you too, right? Because not only did we bring it up, but you was like, "Yo, look at what they did," and they have. I think you said the worst or the same record as the Giants.
Same record as the Giants.
And they're doing all these. They're making all these moves and getting these
All these
superstar
moves.
potential Hall of Famers. Definitely with Aaron. I don't know if Devontae's a lock in, but for what?
For what, bro? To be
Yo,
2 and
you
5.
know what? I don't want to win the game either, but I think the Patriots. Nah,
Nah, I'm taking the Jets, bro.
I'm taking the Jets. Brees Hall's a savage, bro.
That's one thing that has changed since Salah got fired. Really, since Downing took over from Hackett, which this is what frustrates me about the Jets. Okay. So your defense was good under Salah. That's what he does. You fire
Yeah,
him, your defense
you know
goes
where
to
he went,
shit.
right?
No, he landed the job already?
Yeah, somewhere special
McDonald's?
too.
Green Bay.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So that
Yeah.
defense with the most takeaways got even
Yeah.
better in my opinion.
Yeah, because he had the defense under Salah. Their defense was always good. Now you fire him, your defense goes to shit. You lose because your defense can't stop a fucking cold. But the Patriots haven't really been able to run the ball that effectively. So
No, I
yeah, I like the
can't run the
Jets.
ball. Drake May, Drake May is a guy, man.
He's a
He
guy.
is going over. He's the guy. We just
They
got to
need
get
a.
him a line.
I also would like to see them get an established weapon. I mean,
Yeah,
your most
yeah.
established weapon is Hunter
Hunter
Henry.
Henry. Hunter Henry. Yeah, yeah.
But I would like, and no discredit to Hunter Henry because he's had some big games. But I'd like to see them get a actual established weapon on the outside for him.
Yeah.
That'd be because then
Yeah, we're
let
getting
let the young
Justin
talent.
Jefferson.
That ain't fuck. Atlanta at Tampa Bay. I like Atlanta here, man.
Atlanta.
Yeah, even though it's
Atlanta.
at Tampa, they just put it on Atlanta on Tampa, and no, your 2 big weapons are gone. So Green Bay at Jacksonville. Green Bay,
Green
man.
Bay.
Jacksonville. Credit to them for winning a couple games, but yeah, Green Bay. Indy at Houston.
Houston.
They've been so different since Nico Collins got hurt, man. Just a
Indy
game and
is
a half.
fucking horrible, bro.
Bro, no, I'm picking Houston. I'm just saying that Houston, now thankfully Joe Mixon was back when he got hurt, but that passing attack is just not the same, man. It's not the same. You know what's crazy though? Because remember I was high on the Patriots. So when we were talking about the Patriots Jags game last week, and thankfully we didn't bet Patriots money line. I wanted to. But That's how high I was on Drake May after
I
seeing
know
him cook
you.
up
I
against the
know.
Texans.
No, I know,
But,
bro.
bro, before I found out Anthony Richardson was starting this week, I had started Joe Flacco, and I was having to play Joe Flacco. I switched out Flacco for Drake May because I'm like, that's how much I like Drake May right now.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know how much I like him this week, but the Jets defense has been bad. I don't know how much I like him this week, but I like Drake May, and Anthony Richardson has been terrible. So
Yeah.
New Orleans at Los Angeles. I'm picking the Chargers.
Chargers.
Buffalo at Seattle. Listen,
Mm.
at Seattle. You know what? I like Seattle. I like Seattle. Buffalo's defense is vulnerable. I didn't take advantage of it. Well, actually, is DK playing?
Nah, DK is gonna be out at least a week. No DK, no chance.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah, Buffalo there. Carolina at Denver. Denver.
Denver.
You know what's fucking
Bryce
crazy?
Young. They say Bryce Young's supposed to start.
He's in a start. Denver is a 10-point favorite. When Denver is a 10-point favorite, you know there's a problem, bro. Kansas City at Las Vegas. That's Kansas City. I was waiting for
Oh,
no
you
hot
want me to
take.
pick Kansas City? Kansas
Yeah,
City.
I thought you were gonna wild out and be like, just because. All right. Chicago at Washington. I think no Jaden is a problem.
No
Probably
Jaden, no chance.
Chicago's. Yeah, I agree. Chicago's a problem. Dallas at San Francisco. San Francisco. Dallas is a bunch of frauds.
That's at San Francisco. San Francisco.
New York at Pittsburgh. Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Giants.
Russell Wilson
Giants.
looked good, bro.
He did look good. But you know, when we were watching the game, because we were texting back and forth, the first Aaron Rodgers pick is what gave the Steelers life.
To
Because
turn it
before
around, yeah.
that,
That was at the
they
end of the
couldn't move
second.
shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
They couldn't
Well,
move
opened
shit.
up the playbook is what it did. It's
Yeah, that's fair. But
Russ,
even when it was time,
yeah. What is the Steelers' favorite play? I can tell you right now.
what is the Steelers' favorite play? Either run the ball or throw the shit in somewhere in George Pickens' vicinity.
No. So their favorite play is a play action play, and fucking their big ass tight end runs 2 yard flat route.
Mm,
They ran that
yeah,
play
bro. Fucking
five times,
Washington.
bro.
Washington, that's
I'm
his
like,
name, right?
I'm like, how many times? My boy's like, well, at least they ran it to the other side this time. I was like, yeah,
Yo, but they were
I
cooking
guess.
on that shit. They were cooking on that shit, bro.
But I
That's
think
funny.
you're absolutely right. It's that turnover in the second that caused it, but it wasn't. I don't think it was because Russ wasn't good. I just think the play calling wasn't giving him the opportunity. Collinsworth was talking about it all night. Like, let open up the playbook. Let him throw some balls downfield. We all, in my opinion, even way before this, I always said Russell Wilson probably has the prettiest downfield throw there is. I remember this, and you can look this
Seattle
up.
Russ. For sure.
Seattle Russ. We played the Patriots. Patriots came back, took the lead in Seattle with Brady. Big game. And Russ, I was like, I don't feel comfortable with this guy having the ball. Threw a fucking bomb downfield. And I was like, yo, this guy's the real deal. But anyways, continue on.
Pittsburgh. That was it. Pittsburgh. The Giants don't
Yeah,
have a
Pittsburgh.
chance.
Pittsburgh.
This might be a Drew Lock game. But what's really good about this, because I was talking about, and but people are like, that's not definitely not a Giants fan. But what's good about this is I was talking with a coworker of mine who's in the office. He's from Philly, so he's an Eagles fan. And I was like, I don't mind losing Saquon. The reason is because what Saquon did against the Giants, he could have very well did against the Eagles, and then the Giants win that game, and then Daniel Jones remains quarterback. Think about the season that we had, was it 21, 22, where Saquon was crazy. Daniel Jones had a couple of good games. Giants made the playoffs, beat the Vikings that one year. That leads to his contract. We don't want to be in that situation, man.
I
So
get it.
you
I get
like
it. I
That's
think
the
Bill
kind of
Belichick, Bill
his statements
Belichick
are
said it
crazy,
best. You guys didn't want to pay him a couple of million to get a guard. That was funny, bro.
bro. No,
That
I
was
agree.
funny.
That's why I sent it. But I was okay with losing Saquon. The only reason was because we had so many holes to fill that paying Saquon we wouldn't have been able to fill the holes. Also, because Saquon's so good, he might get you a win or two, and you don't want that win or two. You don't want it. Trust me, you don't want the win or two. You're not. You want to be in the Ewers, Cam Ward, Shadur Sanders sweepstakes. You don't want to be outside of that. So it's just good that this is happening, Giants fans. It's painful, but it's good at the same time. But I'm curious to what your thoughts are. We talked about San Francisco. Uh, the Niners have to make a decision about Brock Purdy coming up this offseason. And so, do you think that even though they're struggling now, they're learning some stuff with Brock Purdy because he's struggled. He's ever since I
No,
think it was like the Ravens
no, because he
game
had some
last
good
year.
games. He has some good
He's had
games.
some good games, but he's also had some really bad games. He hasn't been as efficient as that first kind of stretches there of his career. And the stats with all of his people, right? So CMC, IU, Kittle, Debo, and
Who
without
they gonna
them,
get? Who they gonna get?
no, what I'm saying is you pay Purdy, the luxury of weapons doesn't remain, right? It's not possible to pay everybody. So my question is,
Money
well, they
down the
just paid him.
drain.
What?
Money down the
Look,
drain.
listen, one thing I'll say is that's exactly why you hold out if you're Brandon Ayuk. What happened on the field? That's exactly why you hold
Well,
out. And don't
well. Like I was telling my boy, the injury could easily be because he held out. Not in game shape.
fair.
Didn't get those reps
That's
in that he
fair.
should have got.
But
So
it's week 7, bro. It's week 7. Like if it happened in week
don't
2,
matter.
maybe, but you think,
No,
oh,
no.
that's true. A
He's
lot of offseason reps.
he was running routes behind an oak tree, bro. You
Which
know, he, his defender was an oak tree in the yard, and he posted that like that was something. Get the fuck out of here. Excuse me.
yeah. No, because that's just kind of where I'm thinking too. It's like they're almost now. Obviously, Brock Purdy has had much more success than Daniel Jones has had, but we've also seen Jimmy G have similar type success, right, in that same system. So what I'm saying is, do you give Purdy the money, or do you say, "Hey, listen, we could probably find a guy, we could draft a guy because it worked with Jimmy G, and he turned out to be just a guy." I'm just I'm curious what your thoughts are. Do you pay Purdy the whatever the going rate's gonna be, 50 million, 60 million, whatever? Because the quarterback market just keeps going up and up. Think about it. Daniel Jones is a $40 million a year quarterback, and right now that's on the lower end. So
Well, I was gonna answer your question, but you kind of answered it for me. I would pay Brock Purdy around Daniel Jones money, maybe a
you
little
think
bit
he'd sign
more.
for that? Do you think he'd sign for that? Like you're trying to give me the money?
That's his options. You didn't prove anything yet. In fact, you lost. You had the opportunity.
That's fair. Multiple years too. It's not like he only had 1 year and then it was like a prove it kind of year. That's fair. Uh Man, like it's crazy because every week we watch and what we think the week before is just completely different.
There is something I have to bring up. I was undefeated in this fantasy league. I lost by 3 points, and I had Jaden Daniels, but I
Oh,
still lost by 3 points. And although the injuries happened, this is why I'm pissed. I lost on Monday night, not Sunday afternoon when Jaden Daniels got hurt. Because Marvin Harrison can't fucking catch. He'll never be his dad. He's worse than Daniel, the kid behind me, because his dad left him and he didn't want to be there. You'll never be, ever be as good as your father, Marvin Harrison Jr. Period. Now, I'm probably just saying that because I'm a little upset I lost the game. I apologize, Marvin Harrison Jr., because you are a good player.
He doesn't
But
apologize. He's not sorry.
Kyler Murray, you fucking short bastard who can't look downfield. Marvin Harrison Jr. is open 99% of the time.
This is
Give
true.
him a fucking chance. Yo, they showed that play again. He's running downfield with nobody near him. Nobody near him. I don't even care where I don't care where Kyler throws it, bro. As long as it reaches to that area, he's gonna
That's a
go get the
touchdown.
ball because
That's
nobody's
tutty.
around.
That's a fact.
So fucking frustrating, bro. And that's why I don't want to pick the Cardinals against who they playing. I don't want to pick them.
Cardinals are playing Miami.
Dolphins. Yeah. But it's Miami, so I was like, I gotta pick the
Yeah.
fucking Cardinals. But Kyler pisses me off, bro. He wants to scamper and fucking move his little short legs or fucking piss. Oh,
It's
forget it.
Arizona is definitely one of the more confusing teams in football. 100%, because you're like, you should be better than what you are. And the only reason that you're not as what you should be is because of yourself. If that even makes sense. Like what you're saying right there. Like they'll have open receivers down the field, Trey McBride in the seam, Marvin Harrison across, even simple drag routes, right? Where like Kyler's scrambling and a guy's like right in front of his face, but instead, and he could dump it off and the receiver can make a move and probably pick up 10, 11, 12. But
He'll
instead he
run for 3.
decides he'll run for 3. And it's just, yeah, it's a mind-boggling thing because Kyler clearly has the talent. It's just, it's so like they should be better than what they are. Um, Yeah, it's just confusing. But speaking about a team that should be better when they are, I mean, we talked about the Jets, and we're not going to go into the fire your coach, who's a defensive wizard, and your defense gets worse, and having the same record as the Giants. I want to go to one of your guys, former Patriot, obviously Patriot legend Julian Edelman, talking about Aaron Rodgers and the Jets' struggles, saying blame
Yeah.
Tom Brady for this. He goes over to Tampa, wins the Super Bowl, and now everybody thinks they can do it. Um,
Ooh, spicy. I love it.
I
That's
don't know why
infamous right there.
he a little Tampa shit, rubbed off on him. He woke up feeling dangerous like Baker, but he's right? Like I think, and I think I texted you. So the Patriot. What year was the Patriots Super Bowl against Atlanta? That was 2018. Was that 2018? That crazy ass comeback. Was that 2018?
I remember watching it with my brother.
2017. 2017. I remember texting you saying, "That's it. I've seen enough Tom Brady's to go." Right? I've seen enough. After that comeback, it didn't matter for me. It wasn't the ring count. It wasn't anything. It was the fact that you're down 25 points in the third quarter and you somehow fucking win the game. But what? And I think this is what's gonna make it so hard for Mahomes to pass, even if they become equal in ring count. What I think is gonna make it so hard for Mahomes to pass him is what Brady did in Tampa. The fact that he was able to go there and win, and not just win. He was there for what, 3 years, and he won the first year,
Yeah.
and they started off terrible, and they beat Mahomes, so that hurts. But the fact that he was able to completely leave everything that he knew in New England and go to Tampa and win it all, like, yeah, absolutely blame Tom Brady. Absolutely
Yeah.
blame Tom Brady for that
You
shit.
know, what's funny is and I bring that up often in arguments, or I wouldn't say debates, right? Tom doing that, but it's always overlooked for some reason. Oh, Bucks had a good team that was up and coming. True, right? They had a good defense. They may have made the playoffs the year before. I don't really remember, but
They're always middling.
yeah. At the end of the day, I was like, do you not understand how difficult that is? And it's still, regardless of how up and coming they were, that's the worst franchise in history. And this
Sure
guy
is.
because of his demeanor, because of his caliber of excellence, it already uplifted him like, oh, we got a chance to win the championship. Now, to do it is a whole nother thing. And it's always overlooked. That is, and that's why if Mahomes did finish in the same ring count, I have a feeling they'll give it to Mahomes still, especially because the dynasty lasted so long. It rubbed people the wrong way after X amount of time, right? Like, how many people
Sure.
really hate fucking Tom Brady? And that Bucks situation is just overlooked. Every time I bring that up, or if somebody just has a conversation, that's not talked about enough for like how difficult of a task that is to go to a whole new franchise and win a championship.
Well, that's the thing. I don't even know how you could possibly overlook it. And the reason I say that is because it's not like he was a player in his fifth, sixth, seventh year, bro. It was year 20 or 21, right? Like, and he goes to a franchise, and it's not like a Kevin Durant to Golden State situation, right? Where like they had won 73 games, they had lost
Yeah,
in heartbreaking fashion to LeBron, coming back 3-1. Like the NFC South in that time period was the definition of mid, literally.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the division winner would win, they'd be 500 or a game under 500 or a game over 500. Like that's what it took to win that division. And so to go there, like think you got to look at it like this. He went there, and after a year, he was already the best quarterback in Tampa Bay Buccaneers franchise history. After 1
Yeah,
year,
yeah,
he was the best quarterback in their franchise's history. Now I get it, right? Tampa, like you said, worst franchise probably, like winning percentage standpoint. But to go there for a year and automatically be considered after that the best quarterback they've ever had, and not just because he's Tom Brady, it's because he fucking won, and he was the reason they
yeah,
won. Like,
yeah.
and then now I think the reason why, like, they always say hindsight is 2020. The reason now it looks so much better is because now we see Aaron, right? Someone who we thought was more gifted physically than Tom, right? Mobility wise, arm strength wise. Try to go to, I think, a Jets team, which I think we could say had maybe equal or if not better talent than Tampa, right? Like the Jets got players
Yeah, have
everywhere,
rookie
so
of the
at
year,
least equal,
defensive player of the year,
right?
defensive rookie
On
of the
both
year.
sides.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, and we see them. He's fucking 2-5. They can't get out of their own way. And Tom Brady won the Super Bowl the first year. Obviously, we saw Brett Favre try doing it with the Jets. That didn't work out.
Joe
Like
Montana.
Joe Montana to the Chiefs. They went to a AFC Championship game, I think, though. But they obviously didn't win. So, like, he's been the one to successfully do it, and he did it in year one. Like, that shit cannot be understated. If anything, outside of the Atlanta Super Bowl and maybe beating the Rams in his first Super Bowl because that Rams team was crazy, that has to be the most, that's right there. That could be number one, honestly. The Falcons one is probably gonna be number one, but that's either two or three in most impressive Super Bowl wins out of his fucking seven, by the way.
Even the
So
Seattle one. And I know they're gonna blame the whole, but the way he performed in that second half against Seattle,
against that defense, against that legendary
against
defense,
that defense, is fucking
secondary, yeah,
insane. It wasn't just a secondary.
yeah. No,
That
I know, like
secondary
that.
was the reason. You know what I mean? Like,
Legion of Boom,
I
yeah.
yeah.
They have players on the front though,
Yeah,
100%.
Wagner, Bennett.
I couldn't fucking stand Martellus Bennett, bro. Um, but yeah, just I mean, when you talk about greatness, and I think that's why it's gonna be hard for anybody to top that. Even if Mahomes matches ring count wise, I don't see how you could give the edge to Mahomes unless Mahomes gets seven faster than Tom gets seven, but significantly faster than Tom gets seven. And maybe he wins. But even then, he's doing it with Andy Reid. Like the knock on Tom was without Bill Belichick. And then we got to see what that looked like after the split. right?
Exactly.
They
Exactly.
Patriots
Exactly.
go to
No.
the playoffs with Mac Jones that first year, but then after that it's terrible. They split ways, even though Patriots were awful, and obviously Tom has that success. So
No. When you had asked me the question earlier, I was going to bring that up, but I didn't want to get more in depth to that specific question with the picking Mahomes because I don't want to knock Mahomes as much as I be talking shit. It's kind of just a, you know, talk shit. But Andy Reid,
he's a
having
fucking
Andy
phenomenal
Reid,
coach.
his play calling, like I'm watching. Damn, who was it? I was watching. I forgot. It doesn't matter really, but they have 4 opportunities to score from like the 3 yard line, and the play calling was egregious. It was predictable. It was horrible. It was not giving them a chance. And I said to myself, you give Andy Reid 4 chances,
He's
he's
scoring.
scoring. He is scoring. He just comes up with creative plays, whether it's a tight end pulling from the line, catching the ball, and running a draw play, or if it's, I don't know, a receiver going in motion, coming back, swinging out, and then the tight end just turning around from a 2 yards. Like he's a great coach.
I think you got to think about it too. Like, think about the quarterbacks Andy Reid had throughout his career, right? Like, obviously the big one is Donovan McNabb for a majority of his
Yeah,
Phillies tenure. He made, I mean, Donovan McNabb obviously was talented, but Andy Reid was behind that. I think he was around for part of Michael Vick or all of Michael Vick and Philly as well, so helped his get his career back on track. And then of course Alex Smith after the gruesome stuff that happened in Washington. No,
yeah,
actually, I think it was Chiefs first, then Washington. But
yep.
what he was, what he was able to do with Alex Smith in Kansas City, and then now Patrick Mahomes. I mean, yeah, and I think it shouldn't hurt Patrick, but I think it only helps Brady the fact that he was able to do it with multiple coaches. Um, shit, man, I'm excited for this week of games, and if there's no parlays happening, I'm stress free, man. Well, there's still fantasy,
Man, I'll
but
tell you what. I'll tell you what. I really don't think there's gonna be any parlays. And I on the on the plane, I was thinking because the NBA started. Now I'm getting a bunch of people hit me up for parlays on the NBA. It's just too much going on, and that's why I
so
want to
much shit.
continue because I really feel better betting on NFL, but at the same time, it is stressful, right? Even getting the ticket in is stressful at this point. Like, how many times I'm like, Matt, we got 5 minutes. Like, we gotta get the. I had a ticket in for the. I think that I did win this week. It just happened to be my. I'm sorry. It happened to be the least amount of money I bet, and the odds wasn't great because it was like almost predictable teams. um, and that's what gave me money to bet with the other games. But the Raiders game we missed out, and I had the bet ready, and I'm pretty sure that was one that we would have won because I had like Brock going off on that game, which he did, 10 catches, whatever. Anyways, I will say this: gamble responsibly. One, two. It does bring another exciting element to the football world now. Like it's like, yo, Matt, we need this, and a head-on-head collision. But um, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna be betting. I did see a few bets that they look promising, but they all look promising
Juicy,
until it
bro.
happens.
Juicy. Yo, bro, I'm telling you, bro. But I honestly, this week it was the injuries that derailed us because we was looking right. Demario Douglas was another one getting hurt that killed us.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
We didn't even talk
Absolutely.
about that. So, like Quan said, gamble responsibly. Man, another awesome episode. Appreciate y'all always rocking with us. Wherever you listen to your podcast, please make sure to subscribe to Infamously Speaking so you get notified of when the latest show drops. Follow us on social media. We're on Instagram at Infamously Speaking. You'll get obviously information when the latest show drops, as well as some awesome outtakes, bloopers, and extra content there. And please, if you can, give us a rating, good, bad, indifferent, whatever. It helps the podcast get recognized, helps it grow. Appreciate y'all rocking with us. And as always, think critically, speak infamously.
Out.